What's going on, everyone? So I'm going to show you how to use Gohighlevel, or what is really called Highlevel, and walk you through step by step on how to use it as a complete beginner. So you go in understanding exactly what each tab means and how you can get the most out of it. And at the end of it, I'm going to give you exactly the way you can get your own snapshots so that you can pretty much resell this and collect recurring income. So let's go in right away. As you can see here, I have no Trilio or Twilio account set up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and ignore this. This is our dashboard. This is where our opportunities, our pipeline value, everything is pretty much set up so that you know your numbers. If it comes down to anything, like, you gotta know your numbers in your business, and this is going to pretty much set you up for success. A few things that people mess up on is they don't actually have the correct date set up. So make sure that when you're looking at your numbers, you definitely set these up correctly, doing like this month or last month, so you definitely know the numbers. Also, I've noticed that when people do their opportunities, which we'll get in on later, they actually don't actually set up the right funnel to track. So make sure you're selecting the right one. It does come with a few kind of ones that I've started as demos in the past. So you can just select the kind of the funnel. A lot of people screw this up, so I want to make sure you guys are up to success just starting out, so that if you're like, hey, why isn't my pipeline showing, or why aren't my numbers here, this little mistake people get wrong all the time. Same thing with stages. You'll see this a lot with opportunities. You'll see, as you can see here, this says May 12th through February 14th, and sometimes they don't select the right opportunity, so they're wondering why their opportunities are not showing up here. For example, if I go to mine, you'll see that it says December 13th through December 17th, and it shows nothing here. And you might be wondering, like, why isn't this working? Well, we need to switch this over to the Social Tycoon, and we need to switch this over to all time, and then it'll have all the different filled out information here, so you are really in positive. So let's go back to the demo. And that's just a quick little tip so that you can make sure that you're testing correctly and you understand everything. Conversations, I love conversations because it shows, obviously there's no conversations in here because I don't have a Twilio set up, but with this you can pretty much show live chats that are going on, if that's through the chat widget, if that's through SMS, if that's through email. You can automatically respond directly through the conversation tab, which I love. I use it all the time, and it's just an easy way, so I don't have to switch to like Gmail or Outlook or whatever that is you use. It's just an easy way to reply directly to people versus using your cell phone. I actually have it set up so that I have a Twilio number and a business line, so I can just respond to them directly there. Opportunities is pretty much your dashboard, but like I showed you earlier, broken up per opportunity and where they are in that kind of lead sequence. So like, for instance, this says like lead, follow up, and nurture. Mine has lead, own software, upsell, and so I can kind of see where they are in our sales process. Yours is probably going to be different because I do software, and you might do lead generation or agency work or whatever it is that you do. They're going to be different than what you have. My follow-up kind of sequence is going to be a little bit different. So you don't need to copy mine. Actually, you should think out what your sequence is and kind of what your quote unquote value ladder is, so that you can take them each stage of that sales process. Marketing tab, so we have campaigns here. At the end of this, I'm gonna show you actually how to download your own sequence that we have for our own. It's pretty much our abandoned cart sequence. It includes all the abandoned cart sequences here, and I'll show you exactly how to get this at the end of this, and a few follow-up ones that pretty much allows us to convert pretty well. And then sales purchase, it's gonna be totally different than yours, but how to set up all the triggers, and actually how to get more training on all of the different things that walk you through how to set up your Twilio account, how to set up triggers, how to set up a members area. So that will be at the end of this. This is just an overview so you understand each little bit of what each high level kind of tab does. Bulk requests are for pretty much setting up your campaigns, but sending out like a broadcast text message or email or a campaign and sending it out at a specific time or right now. It just gets people sending out your content right away. Trigger links are, so like for instance, if someone clicks on a link and you can unsubscribe them, it allows them to combine trigger links with triggers so that you're able to, when someone clicks this specific link, it triggers a trigger, which we'll go in later. And does kind of like a Zapier or Zapier, however you say it, and explains exactly if this, then that. And we'll go over that in a second. Forms, which are just, your basic forms. What I love about forms and the trigger links, it really shows kind of the analysis and the submission types. So if I go into mine, to kind of give you an example, it shows you kind of all the forms that were submitted, at what times, how they were submitted, and then kind of the submission types, which I really love. Same thing with triggers. It kind of shows you which triggers are popping off, which ones are working, and then like what's working and what's not. Let's go back. Surveys, similar. As form builders, they're just surveys. I actually don't have any surveys because I just don't use them. I have another for my WordPress site that I use, Gohighlevel with WordPress, which makes a beautiful combination. If you have not set that up, you definitely should. It's amazing what surveys do with WordPress, and how WordPress and Gohighlevel is just, or high level is just amazing, especially when you use it and combine them with like Zapier, Thrivecart, Thrive themes, all these things combined is just makes a powerhouse tool for organic traffic and running ads and tracking everything. Templates I really don't use, or the HTML builder. Again, both things I don't use. Google Ads. So this is kind of an example, since this is a sample data account in a sense, just a demo account. It kind of shows you, they kind of put placeholders in here to kind of show you what it would look like if you actually ran your business. So sample data, it shows you like how many clicks you were getting, the cost per campaign, what the numbers look. So like you decreased your clicks, you decreased spending costs, all the different numbers that it would look like if you were running a ad campaign through Facebook or through Google Ads. This is Google Ads, as you can see here. We can see the ad groups. They've kind of put demo information, your ads, how they're doing, keywords that you're using, and conversion types, and what those conversions look like. So then they have Facebook ads too, similar kind of concept. It shows what audience you're getting the most from, if it's Facebook, Instagram, the audience network, or Messenger, what the impression costs, the clicks, kind of the keywords you're using, and the campaigns, that you're using, dentist, custom audience, all that stuff. So it's a really good way to format. All you have to do is integrate, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment here, but really easy. The ad sets, ad campaign, demographics, so by age. So it brings in everything, so you're kind of can see it and not have to use Facebook. Obviously, when you change and go into Facebook, you need to make changes within Facebook to get this data. Let me retract that. You actually need to make sure that you can't do any changes here to affect the Facebook ads. This is just to see the information that Facebook is showing you, just like they have their own. This just brings in your CRM, so you're able to see it in one spot. We have call reports, so if people are calling in, it takes voice messages. You can see those calls, if they're a first-time call, if they're an answer call, where they called from, the source type, all that. A calendar, so you can replace Calendly You're able to set up different calendars, and it two-way syncs with Google. So you can have like your Google number here, or I have an iPhone, but you can have your like Google Calendar set up on your iPhone or whatever phone you have, and then have it sync back and forth so you have it on your phone, which I really like. And then if I put it on my phone, it will actually push to this calendar and I can see them all together. Same thing with appointments. It just has a list of appointments here. So it's more of a day-by-day thing versus a calendar view. Built-in reputation manager. So you're able to really set out review using a review widget. And we'll go over that here in the settings and then what those reviews look like. And then we have contacts. We actually don't have any contacts here because it's just a blank account. It's a demo account. So I have I think 2,000 contacts in my other accounts, or just my other account. And then manual settings is just manual settings. I've actually never used it, to be honest. Contacts, I deleted some fake contacts or test contacts just a moment ago. So it shows you kind of what I did previously. Funnels and websites. So sometimes you'll see, depending on if you're not seeing all three of these, it means that the admin or you have not approved those in the team. So definitely check that out. I can show you how to turn those on at the end of this. But if all three of these aren't showing up, then, or any of these things, then it means something is being limited, and we'll show you how to do that in a moment here. But these are just little templates. You can do all sorts of different things. Websites and funnels, I feel like, are the same thing. They use the same kind of format, but I just use funnels instead because with the websites, you can't actually do purchases. They're only lead generation and not any kind of sales. So you can't actually take any payments on the websites. So just be mindful of that. Website or membership areas are a other kind of tab. It looks like they're a way to kind of create your own membership area. They're very like Kajabi, and they're really good formatting. I really like them. You can do free, you can do paid. You can set it all up so if they make a purchase, you automatically generate them a password using trigger links, and we actually show that in our free training at themoneyfriends.com/university, and we'll definitely have that in the links below so you can take advantage of that. And then trigger links are pretty much the Zapier of Gohighlevel or Highlevel. It allows you to, if this happens, then do this, and I'll give you an example. For like our abandoned cart sequence. If they have a two-step order form and it's in the Social Tycoon and the submission is opt-in, so a two-step order form, they submit their information and then they go to the sales page, then and it's a little different than like say an opt-in form. This is kind of built-in two-step. That's why it's in one form, and I'll show you later what that is. But pretty much when they do an opt-in and they are added to a campaign, which is the abandoned cart sequence, they're added to a tag, which is an opt-in, and they're added to an opportunity. And those are those opportunities I was talking about earlier, where I showed you the person's name, and they were all kind of layered on top of each other. But then we also have a trigger for sales. And this trigger for sales is if, say for instance, they make the purchase, they go and get their credit card, they can be taken off of the abandoned cart sequence, because we don't want to keep sending them the abandoned cart sequence if they made a purchase, because that's kind of weird. And then we want to remove them from the opt-in tags and add them to a buyer's list and what purchase they kind of purchased with a tag. So we will definitely go into that in the free training in the links below, so definitely check those out. Online listing is for Google. When you set up your Google and integrations, this is exactly where you set it up. So we'll go over that now. We kind of talked about if you don't see those tabs, these are some of the things that you want to do. So for instance, when we go to user permissions, you want to turn on those things like the funnels, the reviews, the websites, you want to have those turned on, because if you turn them off, then they won't have access to that. So it's just a little bit limiting. Company name, this is where you put in all your information, voicemail, all that stuff. Email, I don't really use because I don't know, I just never use it because I do it through campaigns. This is more of a review link. I don't really use it. We will set up in our free training how to set up your own Mailgun account so you can do all the autoresponders and all that stuff right away. That's like one of the first steps. And setting up your domain. And same thing with here. I don't use the review SMS. I just don't need it. We have plenty of reviews. Same thing with customized email communications. Don't really use it. So this is the review widget. This is kind of what it looks like. There's no reviews in this account because obviously it's not set up. But you would just add this to your website code using HTML, CSS, and just a lot of different websites allow you to do that very easily. So if you add custom code to your website, you just push this in and it looks like this. When there's actual testimonials, it will scroll through, which is kind of nice. Appointment widget, which you can set up on your website. Pipelines, which we talked about earlier. This is where you would create your own pipeline. Integrations, so this is where you would set up your Google accounts, your Google My Business, your Facebook accounts, your QuickBooks, your Stripe, and your Cilio, whatever that is. I don't use that. Phone numbers, this is where you hook up your Twilio phone number. You just add phone number. Number pools is if you have like a call center, or if you have a way you want to track how each number is doing from a specific location or different locations depending on kind of the ads you're running and A/B testing. This is your calendars, so you can create your own calendar here. For instance, you can kind of see what it looks like. They can book a time. And then you can also set up the different preferences. So if we go to here, you can set up like the timing, the color. If you want to have two-way communication, like I talked about earlier with your phone, the availability, so you can set up what times and time slots. We go over all this in detail in the training. You can definitely check out that link below. Custom fields, I don't really use. Facebook fields, I don't really use. Values, this is all the domains. This is where you actually set up your domain. And if you want to learn how to do that, definitely check out the link below. And then tags, these are all the different tags that you can add, and then your settings for Mailgun. So that's it. That is exactly all the different tools within Gohighlevel. And definitely check them out. Click on the links below, sign up, and move on to the next one.